Hi everyone, I am Stacia Mack. I am mother and manager to Polo G, Columbia recording artist, Mr. Pop Out himself. And you are watching I Birth Legends, my podcast, something near and dear to me, where we tell all and encourage all to nurture the things and beings that they love to receive a priceless return on investment. And today we have the lovely Karlissa. Now you may know her as none other than Blueface's mom.
Hello.
Get into it.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming. So let's get right into it. I created this platform so that mothers would have a space to let the world know how they created their legend, the backstory to, you coming up, how your story was for your family, the things that you put in, your blood, your sweat, your tears. And sometimes our stories go unnoticed. You see the celebrity, but you don't think about that person and that engine that's driving them and propelling them forward. And a lot of times it's the matriarch in the family, it's the mom. So I'm so happy that you came out today. And let's get into it. Before we get to your story, we have to go to your son's story. So his government name is?
Jonathan Jamal Porter.
Now, wait a minute. It sounded like that was a basketball reference. So you named him Jonathan Jamal Porter. Why? What inspired the name?
His father was thinking that whole like MGM.
The
guy that that's the way he said it, and I was like, good.
So every time you came into the building, just like Jonathan Jamal, and you had to. Okay, I'm loving it. So when did it shift where you're like, you go from Jonathan to Jamal to Blueface? Like, that's a big shift.
That was his own shift.
Okay. Where'd that name come from?
Since when he was really little, he had this thing about money. It started with $1. Anxiety, panic attacks. If he didn't have $1 in his pocket, it was not a good day. I don't want to go to school, but if you put $1 in his pocket, I'll go to school, I'll behave. And it sucks to have to pay him to do things, but it started out that way. So yeah, it went from $1 to $5 to $20, and we got to $100. It was that was his grandma. I didn't do the $100 bill.
Right, coming through in the clutch, right?
So it's not for him to have put that on his face. I mean, I immediately thought back to the money and was like, wow.
So what did you think that he'd be when he was coming up?
I was for sure he'd be a football player. So
he was really good at football?
Oh yeah, he touched it and it was like, boom.
Did he have a passion for it?
Absolutely. He could play any position on the field. I mean, if somebody was sick or didn't show up, he did theirs and his. So
if he wasn't Blueface the rapper, he would be Jonathan Blueface. Jamal. That's so dope. You guys are from LA? You're LA natives?
I'm originally from Ohio, but I moved out to California pursuing film and television, and ended up getting married and having kids and got distracted. So they're all born in California.
Well, distracted is one word. I would say dedicated to your family, because because at the end of the day, I'm sure that sacrifice is what made him who he was, So being from LA, there are two sides to LA. It's Hollywood and hood.
Hollywood.
Which side did you? Which side?
I was like on the borderline,
okay,
where I thought was like, we okay on this side, but they caught the bus to get a haircut to that side, and that side wasn't so pretty. So.
Right, because you stay in a good area when you can't just go around the corner to get your haircut. If you got to go out the area to get your to get your haircut, chances are you don't live in the hood.
Like, what are you doing over there? Let's get a haircut.
That's so cool. Tell us about you knowing that he was going to be a rapper. Did he ever come to you and confide in you and say, Mom, I want to be an artist, or did it take you by surprise?
I think everything he does takes everybody. He just does it. So I was definitely surprised.
So he marches to his own tune. And when's his birthday?
January 20th.
So he's
happy birthday, Becky.
Big shout out. So he's
Aquarius.
Aquarius.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
cool.
And he'll let you know that too. Not a Capricorn. I'm Aquarius.
Yeah, my son's a Capricorn. So he's an Aquarius. They are really independent thinkers. They march to their own tune, and they only do what they want to do. It doesn't matter what reason, what why. It's like, okay, that sounds nice,
but I'm in his head,
and will outthink anybody. They do.
Amen.
They do.
So you think.
Well, mine is. I have one at home, and it's like I have to be 10 steps ahead of this boy. I'm like, you got to get up pretty early in the morning to get one over on me. I wake up at 3. He wake up at 1. Okay, so he's always. They're always a step ahead. And coming up in LA, what were the challenges you faced? You said that the neighborhood wasn't good, but it wasn't bad. But I'm sure that it wasn't without its challenges, as any neighborhood is. How was it for him growing up? What challenges did you face in your area?
I mean, being a single mom and raising 3 kids, he probably faced a good portion of the struggles and the different things that you go through being a single mom, and just you know, the community and, you know, friends and influence and just, you know, those type of things that kids get into. But he beat what his brother kind of got caught up in. So I don't know if he was a little bit smarter about it, or, you know, what happened. But
And you referenced his brother, your oldest son, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you care to share about what his story was, just briefly?
My oldest son, at 16 years old, was sentenced to 17 years in prison for manslaughter, and a 10 years of that was gang enhancement. So,
Oh wow!
yeah.
So because and the story is. And to be sensitive to the other families and other parties, it wasn't something that he did. It was the affiliation, the association that he had. So I'm quite sure that that was a living example for him, that it's important to watch the company you keep, that everything that you do, you one decision, like my son says inside of his music, that it's like you have to live with each decision that you make.
You gotta live with each decision that you choose to make.
And then on top of that, that when you are inside of certain company, their decisions and the things that they do can adversely affect you. And that's what we strive for as parents, that they don't succumb to those things, you know. And that was an example for him. And I know as a mother, it had to have been heart-wrenching, because I went through that. My son was fighting 3 cases at one time right before he was signed. 3 cases. And it was like I had no peace. But I had no peace. When I say no peace, just to see your child inside of that position.
Yeah, I mean, I did my best after that to just keep, you know, the other kids as busy as possible. I mean, if it was just even we're gonna be at the park throwing the football, I was there. You know, I did everything I could with the second son to make sure that those people didn't see him as often as they saw my other son. I actually am more interested right now. I'm writing a screenplay about what happened with my son.
How is he?
He's doing good now. He's doing good. My son is out. He just got out in September.
Oh, congratulations.
After 13 years.
For the first time you were able to exhale.
Yeah. So I would like to do like maybe a film of some sort to show what happens. You know, a lot of mothers, we don't talk about it because we're embarrassed, you know. I was embarrassed when it first happened, like, not the golden children, you know what I mean? He played ball, you know, they're all athletes, all Division 1 and 2 scholarships. Yeah. So that was kind of embarrassing, and I didn't really share it. But again, when you get 47 years old, you want to be as transparent as possible, because it's about showing, you know, our sisters and our people, like, these are the things that we can do to help each other.
How's his relationship with his brother?
Like they never left. Like they never left. His arm, the whole sleeve, my older son drew that for him from prison.
Oh wow, he's an artist.
Well, he's like, draw me something, and you know, we literally got to spend a night there one day.
Oh.
Yeah, we got to spend a night there, me and Jonathan, with him, and he drew the sleeve, and about 10 years later, Jonathan had the sleeve, the entire picture.
That's crazy.
So,
That's crazy.
They're really close.
So you would like to be behind the camera?
Yes.
That's funny, because it's like you're beautiful. There's no denying that. It seems like you would be in the front of it. It seems like you would be in front of the camera. I can see
like
you
Tyler Perry, Madea on Tuesday.
Come on. So you have 3 children, and you have grandchildren?
I have 2 grandsons and 1 on the way.
Oh, really? Yes. Congratulations. Yo, you're giving a new standard to grandma. Yeah. Is it grandma in your house, or is grandma?
It's Jamie.
yo, so you're just gonna make up something. So when my grandson came, I'm like, what the heck is he gonna call me? So I'm just grandma.
Right.
So yeah, I earned that.
I earned it.
So how did he get into music?
So he said that he went to go pick up a chord from a studio, one of his friends. That story, he's sticking by it. He went to pick up a chord and he was like, let me on the mic. He got on the mic, he heard his voice, and that was it.
That's so cool.
My daughter tried to get him when he was little on the mic, and he refused to get it. He wouldn't do it.
Well, in due time.
Yeah.
When you become a celebrity, it's almost as if you no longer have your life. Everything is inside of the public eye. I know that, you know, from social media that, you know, you guys have had a spat before and it's been on social media. How do you deal with stuff like that? Because I'm looking at the comments and people were saying really mean things and they don't realize that things start and you have conversation. It's sibling rivalry, and no matter how old you get, I'm 40 and I still get into it with my siblings, you know, and they don't understand, like, these are real people. This is a family dynamic, and even though, you know, we're in the public eye, we shouldn't be tried in the public court, and your opinion should be left to yourself. How do you deal with that?
You know what? At first, I just internalized the whole thing, and I was depressed about it, and you know what? I prayed about it, and I said, you know what, this is an opportunity to show, like, how I want to be as transparent in my life as possible. And this is an opportunity to show that just because what you see on television, and for everybody, we're still human.
Absolutely.
We're emotional people, just like you. We have arguments and fights, and our emotions rise, and that's what happened. I mean, we all lost control that day, you know. Some people had liquor, some people just was really emotional. There was some promises made, and you know, so hey, y'all created her, and he saw. Jonathan is an amazing person. He saw how that affected us, and he apologized to both of us, me and his sister, and was just like, it was just one of them days.
It was
you know,
and family, that happens, and I'm quite sure that he's an amazing person because he's a product of you. When you look at someone and you see the legacy and the lineage of them, then you know, like, we all fall and we fall short, but it's what you do with that helps you and molds and shapes you to be a better person. What you guys went through, I'm sure you'll never go through again, and it only strengthened your unit, and you sharing with other people, and probably your lessons heals and helps someone, you know?
I run a Christian women's weight loss group.
Oh, that's cool.
I mean, we pray, we work out, we post pictures of everything we eat. We have a we have a system, and we reinforce each other every single day. And that's how we keep the weight off. That's how we stay looking young. I have to go in this group. I'm praying for these people, praying for their children. I got to go in this group now after all these people done saw this. You know, over 500 women, and I'm like, they're like, you ain't perfect either. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna be honest.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened, but you know what? Pray. And these women, they pray for my son. They have been praying for him before he was Blueface.
Say it again.
I have so many women that, you know, when he put the tattoo on his face, it took me 3 days to get out the bed, literally. And all them women telling me,
what is
it's
this?
Gonna be okay.
What is this with the tattoos on the face?
It's the whole money thing. It's when he says,
no, my son got tattoos
something
on his face too, and I'm like, you're good looking kids. Why would you want to put tattoos on your face? It's like
he got Jesus Christ on the back of his head. That's how he rests. And when he get up, he work on that money.
Well, it's a rhyme and a reason to it right here. If you were to say, people will look at you and they look at your story and all of your children seem to be amazing. That doesn't come without hard work. If you had to do your recipe for birthing these legends, what would it be? You could say understanding, kindness, care. Like, what would the recipe be? What were the qualities that you imparted upon them?
Our recipe is, first you have to believe. You got to believe in God, because without him, you cannot do it alone. And even if you do it, you need him to sustain it.
Hello.
You have to believe in yourself. You have to trust, meaning when he said he slept in his car, I have slept in my car too, baby. That's part of the process. But you trusted that process.
Yeah.
And you have to obey. Believe, trust, obey.
When he signed, what was his first major purchase that he gave you?
He just handed me like a stack of money one day, and I was like, And actually, he was driving his car with his knee. And I'm thinking he just counting his money like, boy, if you don't drive, we on the 405 freeway. I'm like, boy, if you don't drive this car, and when I'm in here, you don't count no money. I'm thinking he just showing off. He hand me the money. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yo, like,
I start screaming. You better me too, baby. Me and your sister
cool.
going to the Bahamas.
What advice did you have for him when he got into the industry? Because this industry can be cold. When he got into the industry, they're still our children, they're still our babies. What advice did you give him? Mine's to my son was, you know, you can't take anything in this business seriously, because if you live by the compliment, you'll die by the insult. So don't get so caught up in people's opinion. Know who you are.
When he was like probably just before 10 years old, there was a father. We were at a football game. And there was a father sitting behind us yelling at these kids like they were like adults, like going nuts, cursing. And my son was the quarterback, so that meant him, you know what I mean? He just threw an interception. It was a bunch of stuff. And I'm just like, I want to turn around and snatch him. But, you know, Jonathan's like, just stay calm and, you know, just stay calm. So afterwards, after the game, I asked him, I was like, does that hurt your feelings when people talk to you like that? And he's like, clear as day, like he was a grown old man. Why would it hurt my feelings for an old man who's never played football to talk to me like that, and his son's never going to touch the ball? So when y'all talking about him,
the spectators, you're spectators.
He don't care.
Yeah. And now being on the other side of the fence, it's like, I get why people do it. A lot of times that's entertainment. Your life, our son's lives are entertainment for other people, because they look through this lens and they're detached and they feel like they're not human beings. They're just.
And I used to go on there. I don't do it so much anymore, but I used to go on there and talk back to them, and they was like, "Mom,
not my baby."
You don't even know if that's a 5-year-old kid playing with you, going back and forth. Like, I'm like, if they can read and write, they gonna hear me.
They gonna get this work.
And it's really sad, because it's like the image and the he's such a good person that what you see is by far. So when you're dealing with these celebrities, that's not the person.
You know, the best
that's
parts
the job.
of us, it's the job, and the best parts of us don't make it to the internet. I'm quite sure your son does amazing things. He does it, and he does it from his heart, and you don't see it online. You know what I mean? But on social media, they scrutinize and pick apart the small fraction of, okay, well, I had a slip or a moment, and that's what they want to define a person by, and not their great works.
When they had something to say about him giving the money away on the car and how he should have or shouldn't have done it, that pained me, because I was like, this kid said he was going to do this because he always fed the homeless. Even with them dollars that I was putting in his pocket, he would always help the homeless if they were walking by. Get my umbrella out of the car and give it to somebody in the rain. When he did that from his heart, and it was the accomplishment for him, because he said as a child he was going to do that. I don't know in that fashion that he did it, but that was something that he put on his bucket list. And why everybody's complaining about it, he checking the buckets. Okay? Yeah. So
what are some of the advantages of being in the spotlight? We talked about the disadvantages. What are some of the advantages? I know you get known and people are like, oh, you're Blueface mom. So what are the advantages?
Like, oh, I'll do your nails for free. Just come by. I'm like, for real?
Okay, we got free nails. Check what else?
the breast doctor's like, we're gonna do this, this, and this, and I'm like, this is nice.
Yeah. Okay, I'm feeling that. So you get free merch. My daughter, she's 6, and they're like, oh, your brother fine, and we'll go and we'll get free skates, free swag, like anything. Everywhere we are inside of the city, it's like it's comped all the time.
Wow.
Yeah, all the time. And they're like, give him my number now.
You know, Gaines' mom had to tell me, like, yeah, tell him you Blueface mama. I was like, for real? She's like, put it on your Facebook page, put it on your
The
Instagram.
funniest thing, we went to LA. So we're transitioning from Chicago, and Ken, he has Mild Sauce Hot Wings in LA, right? I don't know if you ever heard of it. He's like, can I make some wings from your son? Can we have polo on the menu? And I'm like, hell yeah. I go up inside of there, and I'm just driving, and I'm like, wait, there's one. I go in, and they're like, that'll be 20. I'm not paying for these wings. Give me the polo special, and I'll take mine for free.
Popeyes need to add Blueface to the menu too, because that's all he eats.
Yo, Popeyes, add Blueface
Like,
to
you
the
got all that
menu.
money, you going to Popeyes? He's like,
Give mama her plate
chicken
for free.
sandwich.
And what do you see for your son? What we know now, you birthed the legend, and he's on his way. What do you see now for him? Like, you're like, okay.
I think Jonathan, being that Aquarius, is like the sky's the limit for him. They should have never let that one fool him, because he's the type of person, he's a fourth quarter character. I sit through a whole football game like, oh Lord, we're finna lose this game. And he, like he says in his song, I will make something out of nothing. And he lives by that.
That's amazing.
We'll walk out of there like, how do we win that game? He'll start scrambling, running, and doing his thing, and before you know it, we're up again. So I see him like the next Jay-Z. I see him.
Speak on it.
I see him, yeah. I see him doing more than just.
How is he as a father?
You know what? He's a mom dad.
Yo,
He is a mom dad. But
How old is your grandson?
He's 2.
Really? Okay.
He's a mom dad. That baby calls for his dad like you call for your mama. So whenever I was like distressed as a single mom, you know, like when you was doing that extra work or them auditions, waiting for that next big role, them checks be coming slow sometimes.
What checks? He was actor?
He was too, yeah, we both were.
Oh,
he
okay.
actually booked his first job. I took him on one audition. I've been auditioning for 5 years, booking this little stuff, you know, you cute, shake your butt stuff. And I took him on a Tyson's chicken commercial, first audition. Of course, I told him before we got in here, when you book this, they're going to give you a lot of money. How much is a lot of money? Well, you're going to be able to buy a PlayStation, some Jordans. He said, all right, I'll go.
I got it. I got this.
He went in there and he was whatever they needed him to be.
That's amazing.
So
So Blueface could have been an actor or an athlete.
that's why I said I see him all across the board. I see him acting, you know, as his brother in this movie. Like,
That would be epic.
I'm seeing. And I'll get some help from the Lord. I'm not going to take all the credit, because I see things before they happen. So when he was little, I already knew.
Yeah.
I saw it. I saw him walk across the stage in like a trench coat as an adult with a gold chain on, a really nice diamonds. Like, well, maybe he is going to be a quarterback.
And you know.
And here he is buying all these necklaces. Like, oh God.
That's amazing. A lot of times people think that that you just woke up one morning and you had this wealth and you had this celebrity. They don't understand the trials and tribulations you went through. There are times that, you know, we couldn't even pay the rent. There were some times where we had to make the distinction. Do I go for gas so I can get to work, or do I buy my kids food? Have you ever had those struggles?
It was so bad. There's 3 of them. There's one of me. I'm still trying to do this acting thing. Working these part-time jobs, trying to pay California's rent.
Yeah.
Even back then, it was like, are you serious?
Yes.
I used to just break down, and sometimes I would break down so bad I would forget the kids were in the car. But I always drove by that church house and went in that parking lot and told God how I felt about the whole thing. So one day I was having a great day, and I rode by the church. I wasn't even getting ready to pull in. And Jonathan goes, "What's the matter, Mama? You ain't got the rent money again?"
I know you wanted to kill him.
I got it today, baby. We just driving by.
I'm just giving a little break.
And it was in that moment I said, at least he knows where to get his higher help from. If you don't have your rent money, or you need that next album, you swing by that church house.
Yes, and instilling those values. That's amazing. Well, I think that you did an amazing job. I'm so excited to see what he has in store. I'm so excited to see what you have in store, because legends birth legends. And I have a feeling that this is going to be a year for you. This is going to be a year for him. And I'm here and I'm rooting you guys forward.
Man, I received it. I received it.
Before we close out, I need you to say your name and I birth legends.
My name is Karlissa Saffold, and I am the mother of Blueface, Callie Way, and Pastor Andre Harvey. And I birth legends.
With an S.